In the early stages of learning to write, we encourage learners to say the word, hear the sounds, and then match each sound they hear with one common way to spell it. With systematic and explicit teaching, learners master one way to spell each of the 40 sounds. Learners in this stage develop an understanding of the relationship between sounds and letters, and they can use this really well to write phonetically. This is a fun stage for writers because while the words aren't spelled correctly all of the time, we can work out the spelling from their phonetic representations. They have a strategy for encoding that can be understood by others, and that brings great satisfaction. As teachers, we certainly want to celebrate and enjoy this stage with learners, and we need to be very conscious of moving them on from here fairly quickly. We need to help these learners to develop a broader understanding of how the code works. We know there are often many ways to spell one sound. Take the long A sound, for example. Here are 5 different ways to spell the long A sound. Learners need help to make sense of all these different spellings and to be able to choose the correct way to write the sound down. The good news is that in most cases there are simple patterns to guide our spelling choices. Through explicit teaching, we can introduce these to learners and help them to think like a speller. The number one think like a speller strategy is to notice where sounds are. Where a sound falls in a word plays a really big part in determining how it is spelled. Take the AY letter spelling pattern, for example. We only use the letters AY to spell the A sound when it is on the end of a word. Those letters are never used to spell the A sound in the middle of words. Our brains are naturally hardwired to find patterns. When we set learners up to discover patterns that are used for correct spelling, we give them the ability to sort and make sense of the code. Learning to spell by remembering one word at a time is an overwhelming task. Learning to spell by discovering patterns that we can use to spell hundreds of words makes it doable. Because the English language has evolved over time and adopted words from other places, it is very likely that a switched-on learner will find exceptions and oddball words that don't seem to fit their patterns. In the word ballet, for example, the letters ET are used to spell the A sound, and in the word cafe, the A sound is being spelled with just a letter E. These words use unusual spellings because we've adopted them from the French language. They're fun to notice and worth knowing about, but not very common. It makes good sense to help our learners master the most common spelling patterns first, so they can be successful most often. Writing is a skill and we get better at it through practice. It takes some time to master and use the patterns with fluency. We help our learners most when we deliberately set them up for independence. We do this when we give them the language to think like a speller. Where is the sound? Which pattern is most common for this sound? Does it look right? These are the questions that good spellers are constantly asking themselves. We further set learners up for success by giving them tools to guide their choices. Easy access to pattern charts that can be added to can make a big difference for learners. Remember too to resist the urge to be the marker of right or wrong. Give your learners that power by asking, "Are you right? How do you know?" Pumped up with a pattern-finding mindset, good wall charts, and plenty of opportunities to prove their success and be recognised for it, your learners will soon be moving towards accurate spelling beyond the phonetic stage.